Yo. Excuse I think the camera angle is slightly off, but I'm like, I've just done a really quick setup because we want a bit of a time limit because we need to go up to London. Why are we going up to London? I got a new lens. Again. So, I've got the Tamron 70-180mm and I've been wanting this for a while. Give me my lens. No. Bruh, give me my lens. Great. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's freaking massive. That's a big lens. That's sexy. 70-180mm F2.8. I'm not gonna lie, my main reason for getting this is weddings, because as you know, I'm trying to get into wedding photography and trying to do wedding photography more, and I needed a telephoto lens that can do low light capability, so 2.8 is perfect. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 1:09 p.m.
We need to go. We need to go. We need to go. Spot on, isn't it? I don't actually know what to bring. I think I'm just going to take the 17-28mm and the 70-180mm. GoPro would help. Lens, filters, that. GoPro. Memory cards. Memory cards. Yeah, probably. Okay, so up in London now. I always seem to start my vlogs in this sort of area because I get off at London Bridge, so we're here. Basically, I had a little play with the lens on the train on the way up, getting a little bit of, didn't think my microphone was plugged in, getting a little bit of B-roll on the train, and my first impressions of it, it's big. It's a big lens, okay? This is, I mean, there's definitely not the biggest, there's definitely bigger lenses out there, but this is the biggest one that I've ever owned, the biggest one that I've currently got, and it's not actually as heavy as I thought it would be for the size, but it's still, you couldn't vlog with it. It's a big boy. But I'm excited. The come up to London, it's meant to be raining today, and it's been spitting, as you can see. It's sort of spitting at the moment, but the sun's peeking through. So hopefully we'll get some quite dramatic clouds and sunlight today. And if it does rain, I hate shooting in the rain. I hate it. I hate getting wet, but it makes for some freaking awesome photos. So don't really care what the weather does. Either way, we're going to try and get some bangers. So I'm going to wander around here for a bit now, and yeah, oh yeah, so we're meeting Andrew up here. Andrew's been on the channel a few times, you know Andrew. He's coming up now with his point and shoot film camera. I don't think he's bringing his big one, his big medium format camera, because it's meant to be raining. So we're going to meet up with him in a bit and figure out where the hell we're going, because I still don't know where in London we're going. But see you in a bit.
I don't know what way it's going.
It's really rainy. Update. Andrew's here. It's raining, and now I'm immediately regretting the rain, but I want rainy photos. So we're going to get rainy photos. I'm so awkward in front of people. I hate it. Okay, so been up in London for a few hours now, playing around with the lens, and it is absolutely massive. Like, it's so obnoxiously big. But the reason I wanted to get this lens is because I am getting into weddings, and I needed a telephoto lens for stuff like that, for wedding shots. And the fact this one goes down to 2.8 is so handy, especially for low light situations, and just being able to 2.8 the whole way through is just fantastic. But the other week when I came up here and played around with that vintage 200mm lens, that's what has kind of sold me on the fact that I wanted this lens, that I wanted a telephoto lens, because playing around with that, I love the focal length, I love the compression in the images, and it just looks so good. So that's a big reason why I wanted to get this. And I've been playing around my 70-300 Sigma, which is my Sony adapted lens, and that I'm just loving it. So I bit the bullet and I got this lens. I've literally been thinking about this lens since August last year, when I did my first proper wedding in a few years. And because we had to stand still in certain areas, we weren't allowed to move because of COVID, and my 85mm wasn't quite cropped enough. And I've been thinking about telephoto since then, and finally bit the bullet. So right now we're at Trafalgar Square. We're going to start heading that way. We're going to go do some more shots, both with the 17-28mm and the 70-180mm, down towards Buckingham Palace. So we're going to get some shots down there and see what we can get. It has been raining. We did get the rain we wanted, and it was good. We got bangers. So these people behind us are just staring at me while I'm vlogging and like smiling, and it makes it really awkward. Fuck you, people. I think what's kind of disgraceful is the fact that I've been to London so many times, and obviously I live in England and so close to London. I've only ever been to Buckingham Palace like a handful of times. It's pretty cool though. Okay, so first impressions of the 70-180. I love it. I think it's sick. As I say all the time, I love the compression look in images, and being able to zoom in from 70-180mm is just a great focal range to have. It's just so good. And 2.8 all the way through is amazing. 2.8 when you're compressed in at 180mm and zoomed in that far, just looks, the whole background's gone. Like, we got a photo of Andrew earlier and got the background in focus and Andrew in the foreground out of focus, and he's just a blur. You'd have no idea it's him. Vice versa, if you're focusing on your foreground, the background's completely gone. You haven't got a clue. It's so good. And the autofocus on it with the Sony A7 III is instantaneous. It's great. Just all round so far, I think this is a great lens. First day using it, so I'm still excited for the fact that I've got this lens, but all round, so good. Yeah, there's also a lot of people around, and I feel really awkward vlogging, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to talk about this in every vlog until I stop feeling awkward about it, but just do it. So if you're someone that wants to start YouTube, you shouldn't feel awkward about doing it. Hid. Very berry croissant from Pret. 8 out of 10. Gatwick is weird. It's completely empty. Like, completely empty. Because obviously all the flights are happening from the other terminal. There's no one here. Weird. So, full day using the 70-180 2.8 Tamron lens. I'm in love. I'm genuinely in love. I do love prime lenses because the fact you can stop down that little bit extra, and I love the sharpness. I just really like working with prime lenses, but zoom lenses are so handy for just being able to zoom, to be able to go from one focal length to another without having to change lens. It's so handy. And as I said earlier, I love the compression look. I really enjoy using this lens. It's a lot of fun to use. It's a big lens, but for the focal range that it is, it's also not a big lens. And the fact that it stops down to 2.8 the whole way through is mad. And I know I am, like, at the moment I'm excited because I've just got it and it's like it's a brand new lens for me. And so I'm just like quite hyped about it, but that being said, I like it. Didn't buy this lens to do street photography with it, But today I wanted to come out and try doing street photography with it and see what it's like, and I've loved it. Generally, it's been so much fun to shoot with. It's a big lens, not the most inconspicuous lens in the world because it is quite in your face, but it's a lot of fun for street photography, and I'll definitely. It's one of them lenses, but you're only going to take. You should because it is quite big and it weighs a lot. It doesn't weigh a lot, but when it's in your bag, it makes your bag quite heavy. You only really want to take it if you're going to use it. So it won't be an everyday street lens. It won't be an everyday in my camera bag lens, but it's definitely one I'm going to use more. It's definitely one I'm excited to use more, and I'm excited to put it into practice in some portrait shoots and some client work in the coming weeks. It should be really good. I'm really excited to put it through its paces. So that's my first initial reaction and review of the Tamron 70-180mm F2.8 lens. I like it. I'm not going to end this vlog here because I think we're going to go look at some photos. I'm gonna edit the photos and then we're going to talk about the photos, give you my first reaction to how the photos have actually come out. But yeah, see you at some point when we do that. Okay, thank you for your input. I'm from a video now. Oh, look at how cute this is. So cute. She's so cute. You can't even see it now. Look at this. So, welcome back. We are now back home. It's been a few days since we were up in London and filmed the first part of this vlog, and I've had some days to have a look at the photos and also gather my thoughts on this lens and sort of give you my initial reaction, as well as how I'm like now feeling now the excitement of having this lens has settled down a bit. So first things first, it is a big lens, but I think for the focal length that this lens is, I don't think it's actually that big. And I've had some feedback from a couple of other photographers that said that this lens is actually not as big as like I was making it out to seem. So that's really interesting to know. Obviously it does get a bit bigger as you zoom it, but for a 70-280mm, that's still pretty compact. I love this little lock feature. That's so handy for just putting it in your bag and just knowing it's not going to slide around. It's great. In terms of image quality, it's nice. It's very nice. Obviously, lenses are big purchases, they're big commitments, so you do your research into them, and I've watched a lot of comparisons, a lot of reviews, a lot of videos on this lens, so how good its performance wasn't particularly surprising to me because I was expecting it to be good at this point. With the amount of stuff I've seen about this lens, and knowing that this was the one I wanted to go for, I was expecting it to be good. The autofocus on it is rapid fast. It's so good. Just like with the 17-28mm that I'm using now. Also the Tamron lens, it's the sort of the wider version of this lens basically, and I really like these Tamron lineups. The performance and the quality Tamron are giving us for our Sony cameras at such a cheaper price point than the G Masters or the Sony native lenses. It's amazing. It's so good. So yeah, so I was expecting it to be performing really well, and it was performing so well. As I say, the autofocus was mad fast. It was so good. The image quality out of this lens is just fantastic. They just look so good. Images are tack sharp, and the depth of field is So this stops down to 2.8 all the way through. Stopping it down to 2.8 at 180mm, your background is obliterated. It is completely blurred out. It just looks so good. And it's so smooth and just creamy is like the word I want to use for this. It just looks so good. So good. I love it. Like there's a shot specifically of a pigeon that I got. Look at this shot. Just look at that background. Just gone. I'm very happy with this as a purchase, and I can confidently say that I would recommend this lens if you're looking for a telephoto for your Sony lenses. I don't know if they do any other mounts for this, or if it's just for Sony, but if you're looking for a telephoto for your Sony lenses, I would recommend this lens, personally. I've only used it once. I mean, I used it for like a solid 5 to 6 hours, but yeah, very happy with this lens so far. So if you are thinking about the Tamron 70-180mm, take it from me, I'm 100% recommending this. I think it's a fantastic lens. I've literally used it for 5 to 6 hours, but I'm so excited to use it more. It was genuinely a fun piece of kit to use, so take that as you will. There will be a POV street photography video with this lens coming out in the channel in the coming weeks, so keep an eye out for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you get notified when that goes live. Drop a thumbs up down below if you don't mind. It massively helps me out, pushes this out, and helps me out with the algorithm. All the other stuff that YouTube says to do, and I will see you in the next video. Not sure what it is going to be yet, but I'll see you there. Don't forget to take the shots. I haven't got a hat. Peace.